Alrighty, and welcome back to my channel, guys. My name is CH.1. Nana. I go by many names. You may pick one. So we're gonna just get right into this part 2. Shoe fly, don't bother me. Freaking monitoring spirits. So we're gonna get into this part 2 of the other channel message of the timeline. The last one was very, very juicy. So last week, I guess a couple days ago, we talked about the difference between Jesus and Yeshua, how the government has been using the savior complex to keep us brainwashed into how they use that to enslave the masses. We also talked about the connection between language words and how that interacts with our chakras and our 3D vibrational bodies. All right, and then I touched on some old world lore as well on the timeline. So the reason why I needed to give you guys that preface is because today we are going to be catching up in the timeline. We are going to be talking about here how this connects to what is going on right now, and this is going to tie into the Salem witch trials. And we also talked about too how the attack on Yeshua and the sacrifice of Jesus for the pagans, because that was a clone, an abomination clone of the organic Yeshua, how that was an attack on the divine masculine. And now today we're going to be talking about how they attack the divine feminine, and we'll get into the Salem witch trials, and we'll get into also how this ties into the whole theme, which is false prophets, defending yourself and using your discernment against people that are false prophets, that are not teaching accurate words from the divine, or just accurate messages to even try to help you, because it is a cruel world and we live with a bunch of energy harvesters and vampires. So the channel message for this whole thing is there are false prophets popping up right now that had roles in or were doing spell work / took part in what has been going on for like the generations before and so forth. And now they are trying to come out like they know what's going on or what's going to happen. In reality, they don't know what the fuck is going to happen because they've been turned off. It's also been, I also have in here, or what's going to happen when in reality they just bought for, because of this pyramid scheme of the Illuminati, they just bought for this foreseen knowledge, okay? That has already been changed by the divine. So the stuff already that the Masons have already written down that they think, or the Illuminati have written down that they think is going to happen, it's already been scrapped. That was already wrong. You have been duped. That is not what's going to happen. Especially these people that are going on about the eclipse, bro. You guys have no idea what's even going to happen. Most of these people that are talking about the eclipse don't even understand this mumbo jumbo at all. Has already been changed by the divine, or are stealing content from real chosen or divine prophets and shadow banning us to steal our content for views. So what they're also doing is, if you didn't buy for this knowledge, but also we're doing spell work and are scrambling right now and are seeing what's going on and kind of want to jump on this bandwagon and this end times, I guess you can say, is then people are just going in and stealing messages for whether it's my stuff or actual true people, and they're shadow banning us, and then trying to take and plagiarize what we're saying and do their little twists on it, and try to act like the savior. But energy doesn't lie, okay? Most of these people don't even know what's about to happen, and the ones that do know what is about to happen, we have been guided to be silent. So you guys are really just digging your holes. You know. We can tell too. This is why also discernment is very important too. When you get to a certain level of being able to see through the veil, being able to see through all of the BS, what you'll start to see too is the amount of people that dig themselves holes, the amount of people that just honestly dig their own graves just by pretending, or just trying to hop on a bandwagon, or just trying to say and spout all this nonsense and try to prove and make it one big competition. Because at the end of the day, it's not a competition. Yes, I say the Hunger Games. Yes, I say it's a video game, but it's a video game for self. It's a video game for higher learning. Oh, hello, baby. Oh my gosh, there was the most beautiful butterfly that just passed. That's so true, though, guys. It's a battle of knowledge. Knowledge is power, okay? It's that's what this is all about. So when we get into the timeline, okay, so we stopped with people coming over, them getting called Christopher Columbus, pretty much, and how Christopher Columbus is really Christ, really aka Yeshua, coming over on board, along with as well Moses, aka Joseph, like we talked on before. All right, and this is also something to preface too. People lived hella long back then too. They lived for much longer. So when I'm talking about too the piece of 1200 years, okay, and stuff like that, a lot of people in these timelines, a lot of these families were still alive, and they don't even talk about Yeshua's family in the Bible. You know, they cut that out because that's also the thing. That's why they worked really hard to shorten the lifespans too. Like by the time Yeshua came over, Joseph came over, Mary came over, and everything. Yes, Yeshua was a full-on adult and everything, but mind you, like I said, people were living for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, okay? So, you know, just because Yeshua is a 30-year-old, that's not like today, you know, just it's all about time. So think of that in a context that will also help you. So they get here. And the Dark Ages happen because Yeshua left. When Yeshua was here, that was the first Renaissance. That was that first rebirth. That was that knowledge. That was that creativity. That was that flourish, because these places, Greece, Rome, they were stealing, okay? That's where that comes from. So when it comes to the Dark Age, that's also that energy harvesting, okay? So that was their first bouts of trying to energy harvest, their first bouts of trying to bring in something into this world that wouldn't, you know, be a mess. But they ended up going into the Dark Ages after they sacrificed Jesus, okay? And then after Yeshua dipped and everything, then we went into the Dark Ages, and that's when Rome and then the popes and these people and then the disciples and stuff like that, this is when they started trying to get the books created, you know, King James, you know, that's when because they were stupid as fuck. They did not know how to understand the translations of they didn't understand, because before they went in and killed everybody, because this is also something too. When the Bible is a metaphor, a lot of that stuff is written in metaphors, a lot of it's hyperboles, a lot of that stuff is actually us, when we were, you know, because like I said, they gave us two choices, which were join the Greek mythology or die. We had to read and study and dedicate our lives. This is what monks, stuff like that. We had to dedicate our lives to knowledge, to this understanding, because we knew we had to encode it into our DNA for our next generations, because they were going to be murking us for what we knew. We knew we would come back anyways because of reincarnation. Get out of here, fly. The fucking spies, bro. Sorry. They knew that they would get out. We knew that we would get killed, pretty much. So we had to encode and embed that into our DNA, the knowledge, the wisdom. So when some of us that did, when we were in jail or that did bend or whatever, that did end up working for the councils, when they were told to rewrite this stuff, or you can't rewrite the divine word, okay? So how are we going to get this in and encrypt it for the next generation? That's when we started the storytelling. That's where we had to put in this esoteric information that was about to be burned and everything. We had to put it in, because those that will see, those that will hear, that will hear. Because everything was going to be completely changed before we knew it, in the blink of an eye. That's how it was to wake up, kind of just when you spawn in here, you're kind of just that's why it feels unfamiliar. That's why it feels uncomfortable. That's why it's when you're growing up. If you ever feel that uncomfortability, you ever feel that what the fuck is going on, it's because this is not the same world, literally, as in past lives, we have been gone. It's like Avatar, the last airbender, waking up from the frozen thaw. He's Aang is oh, I'm gonna go see my monk friends, I was just hanging with them at the rocks, going back to his village, going back to the air temple, guys. And then going back to the air temple and then realizing they didn't make it. They're all gone. That's what we're living through right now. That is real freaking life, guys. They're gone. Many people are not making it. Because this is what it is. It's life and death. You either get the lessons, because we are in this dome. We are in this dome together. The firmament is above us, because we need to get this freaking lessons going, because it's literally twitches. There's the darkness. There's a virus, a mind virus that is sweeping through Earth right now. This is why we are here, to wake people up, to help the masses, to help jumpstart people and be the jumper cables into these people's brains, so you guys can finally realize that you either get the lesson or you become the lesson and become part of the Earth, and you die, and you have to wait here and watch while we feast and watch while we ascend. So this is what they've been trying to stop this whole time. These witches and these Salems getting in here, because everybody knew this shit. That's the thing. Everybody knew that this was common knowledge when you would come back. Everybody knew this shit. This was basic first grade. Now nobody knows this stuff, and everything's completely flipped on its head. So when the Dark Ages happened, this is when the Salem and the witches started trying to... Well, there were no witches. It was good witches, bad witches, everybody. So when, Yeshua started coming and he did his job, like I said, guys, and he started preaching, and then he left and stuff like that. People were starting to get awakened. People were starting to get enlightened. People were starting to use their gifts again. Okay. And the dark side was no, we can't have this. What do we need to do? What are we going to do? This is not how it was supposed to go. And so that's when they formulated the next plan, which was no magic at all. Magic does not exist. There is no such thing as magic. And if you are practicing magic, everybody fucking did this shit, light and dark, okay? So the dark was, we're going to pretend this shit doesn't exist, and we're going to do it behind the veil. Okay, this is also, I'm getting told back too, this is when they started formulating with the old world technology, from Tartaria, when Hollywood was first being founded and stuff like that. This is when they started deciding, we're going to go incognito. We're going to start doing the brainwashing. We're going to start because mind you guys, this technology that they had, the reason why there were silent films, they had a bunch of old world technology they didn't use. So they had to start reverse engineering this stuff that they didn't understand when they started filling in these places after going through and decimating everything. Then they started filling it in with these clones. These people didn't know what the fuck this technology was. It was way, 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 way too advanced for them. So once they finally were able to reverse engineer and kind of figure out, that's when they started doing the era of theater, the era of macabre, the era of ways to hide our dark deeds, because now we need to tell people that magic doesn't exist, and anybody that is doing magic, we're gonna either say you're gonna join the Puritans, you're gonna join and infiltrate the schools as a witch, as a dark witch or whatever. You're gonna infiltrate and get close with the politicians, okay? You're gonna get in there, and then you're gonna go and Salem witch trials and murder all the good people. You're literally going to burn them all at the stake. They should have been burned at the stake. These people, the Satanists lived on. All right, the Satanists told the stories again, because they went in, and then this is how they attacked the divine feminine, okay? When they talk about the jealous husbands, the jealous wives and stuff like that, that's so true. Nancy didn't like the freaking way that you looked at her husband, all right? So Nancy's now going to go and accuse you of being a witch. Maybe Sally over there just has some bomb-ass ointment and everything like that she has. That's all natural remedies, okay? But this bitch doesn't like that it's all natural remedies and stuff like that, because she has her stuff that is not selling so well, so she's gonna boom kick you out of the competition, accuse you of being a witch, and then now her stuff is going to be on top, even though it's going to be the exact same products. But no, I would never. So Salem witch trials, the Dark Ages, okay? Yeah, so false prophets, that relates to the covens, and then that's the same thing that they were working closely with Rome as well. These are the same fucking covens, and I'm getting told too, I'm getting told something about Transylvania covens, like Abramovich, like these people, like deadass, they do come from fucking Transylvania and shit like that. Like these crusty ass people, like these crusty ass Dracula witches and stuff like that, have been alive for so freaking long. Literally Interview with a Vampire, I'm getting told, trying to run this stuff, that have been around here for all these resets and stuff like that, and just put on new skins. It's so gross. And that's how the women were able to, the fucking Hillary Clintons, this shit, guys, a lot of them, are puppets for the devil, and a lot of these women puppet the men, okay? So even when these men think that they're in control and shit, it's the women too that have become, that are a part of this shit, and have become susceptible, and become yes men to the D, and yes men to the devil, and just are willing to do anything, and sacrifice anything, and willing to use anyone and anything as a pawn. Animals included, babies included, men included, they're crazy, okay? And then the Crusades. Oh, okay. Another download I got too from when I was watching the last video too was about Vikings. This is also the Vikings were the good guys. They tried to write it back as they tried to write it in that they were the bad guys. You know, they were the ones that were the pagans. It was not. No. The Vikings were not the pagans. The Vikings were aboriginal, same thing as Yeshua. They followed Yeshua. They followed nature, okay? And Vikings, before they were Scandinavian, and they tried to say they were black, okay? The Vikings were black as well. They were dark-skinned as well. They were Native Americans. They call them Vikings, but they were really Native Americans, okay? So these Native Americans, they were literally winter Native Americans. They were winter Native Americans, okay? So, but that's the thing. Even the Vikings got their stuff, though. They listened, and yes, there were white Vikings, but that was from the Native Americans that taught them, that were black, that were up there, that traveled with Yeshua, that went up to Scandinavia and stuff like that, before it was Scandinavia and stuff like that, Iceland, and went to these places and taught them, and they were receptive. So when they talk about them coming over, the people that were trying to brainwash were King Edward. The people that were trying to brainwash were freaking the English. Where are these Puritans? It's always been them. They've always been the ones that have been trying to dictate. That's what these fucking wars are for. These wars are sacrifices for their pagan, demonic stuff. Okay, guys? Like, them trying to rewrite this stuff and dictate what religion. Like, they even showed that in freaking Pocahontas too, when they took Pocahontas, bro, into the mainland and started changing her and shit like that. They do this shit. It's always been about controlling the masses. It's always been about brainwashing, and it's always been about what is for their best interest, so that they are able to stay in power, that they are able to stay on top, and they are able to keep their many falsehood deities happy. And so how this catches up then how this catches up then with what we're going to and what we are seeing right now is a lot of these false prophets that have been alive for so long, that have bought this either into the secret knowledge, that have bought into or worked really hard to shadow ban or steal this knowledge and everything. They right now are popping up and either throwing out people under the bus that have already been a part of this, or trying to come up with their own knowledge to make it seem like they are seers and that they can see what is going on. Easiest way to know if somebody is false or not. Okay, one thing too. Who are they talking about? Is this Jesus? Because if it's Jesus, it's automatically an X because it's Yeshua. So automatically, who are you talking about? Are you talking to the divine? Who are you speaking to? You know what I mean? Also, false prophets and celebrity tarot readers. As a reader, we are only pulling off of our own energy in the cards. So there is no way to pull off of a celeb's energy without their consent or knowledge. So sit on that. So a lot of these people that read for these celebrities and shit like that want to let you know what's going on, they're automatically karmic, okay? Also, another thing to help people too, if you're watching a reader or whatever, like I said, we are pulling off of our own energy when we are pulling cards. So any reader that's like making guesses about or like, I would honestly like, damn, pick-a cards are bullshit. I'm being told to say it. I just gotta say the truth. Pick-a cards are bullshit. Pick-a cards are bullshit. You can't. Yes, they're fun and entertaining, but if you're trying to listen to a pick-a card for like serious shit, you don't listen to a pick-a card for serious shit. You cannot get. These women can't get your information off of your energetic signature. It's the same women that are like, hit the like button in the energy exchange and shit like that. That's not how it fucking works, okay? It works when you're tuning in and watching the video, but you touching that like button, it's all marketing. It's all marketing, okay? Same thing for the women, the tarot card readers. Like, if somebody is like trying to read your energy, well, first of all, we can't. Anybody that's saying that they're reading your energy over the internet is already, like, unless you're having a one-on-one, sit down, talk with them, like you FaceTime, you're paying for that personal session, then that is a situation where that can work online. But even then, it's not 100% accurate. I always recommend in person. And somebody needs to be touching your cards, okay? When they're shuffling, this is the thing about reading. They're shuffling the cards that they are touching. So automatically, it's already going to be their own energy that they're pulling off of, okay? So they could be pulling off of our own energy to help you guys with what we've experienced, to then help you guys further on with your own knowledge. It's not, I'm taking these cards and I don't know you as a complete stranger, and all of a sudden I'm able to know every single thing about you and what you ate and shit like that. No, half of the time we don't even know. We are It's like an antenna, guys. We cleared up our chakras. We got to a higher vibration of information, of higher channels on the television station. We are giant TVs walking, okay? So we're a giant television set, okay? We hired our vibration. Some people out here are walking box TVs, or huge-ass box TVs, the oldest model. But if you higher your vibration, you know, some of us, we have different satellites. Some of us are flat screen. Some of us are cool edges. Some of us aren't even flat screen, and some of us are dead-ass holographic TVs and shit like that, okay? And we can access different codes, and because of that, we are antennas that then channel it out, okay, and channel and pick up the information out to you guys, all right? And we were able to do that because we cleared out the static frequencies. Just think of it as static, okay? So these people out here that also, like I'm showing you guys right now, you don't need cards to pull if you are not false, okay? A lot of it is we don't need the true ones. We don't fucking need cards. Cards are just helpful for the viewers out there. Cards, also, it takes a lot of energy. The reason why I didn't go back to back with these videos and I had to take a minute, guys, I slept for like 2 days straight after that video. And in that video you saw, I had Nana hop into me. I was shadow shifted. I had one of my spirit guides jump into my body. You saw it on there, okay? And so when that happens too, that is also very exhausting. That is very, very, that is very draining too. So it actually does take a lot of energy to connect to these different frequencies and these different functions and these different vibrations. Is there anything else that I need to speak of? Divine, is there anything else you need me to tell them? What else do I need? Is there anything else? Yes, and the celebrity, yeah, you can't read a celebrity. And I honestly, if anybody out here is reading a celebrity's energy, I would caution you to not even be anywhere near that reader, because it's like, okay, so either one, you're a scam, or two, you're close to the celebrity person, and that's already a red flag, okay? Because what elite information, what elites, and who are you talking to in that elite circle, because they're demonic and evil, for you to even know that person? You know, what are you doing in the dark? Anybody also, like my situation, the reason why I have information on certain celebrities is because I deadass have that celebrity in my bloodline, and I didn't even know I was related to said celebrities or whatever, because I think they're not even celebrities. They're just people too that just ended up putting themselves on a higher pedestal just because they're narcissists, okay? So I didn't even know that, but I only know this information because it's within my bloodline, okay? But people out here that are just doing this for clout and just picking random celebrities, or like that one TikToker that tried to do a tarot reading on like a murder that was going on and stuff like that. That's not how that fucking works. That's not how that fucking works. You can't just be tapping into people's, that's so like yuck. You don't have their permission energetically. And also with the pick a card readings, and the internet, stuff like that, they don't have your permission to read your energy. They only have your permission, their own permission to read their own energy. And if them reading their own energy helps you out, then that's awesome. That's cool. But if somebody out here is blatantly reading energy, trying to say that this is yours and that they can read your energy through a screen and they've never met you and you're not there in person, it's a scam. Run. They're trying to take your money. That's not how that works. And also, I'm getting told also stay away from readers too that are heavily always on that Aquarius bullshit, that are always on that I shouldn't say Aquarius bullshit, sorry, my bad. I meant the zodiacs. I just heard a sigh. A big sigh, just it's not about the zodiac signs, because when you get to a certain point, like Empress and shit like that, it's like it's all energy, it's all fluid, okay? It's not about the sign. So if somebody is heavily always on that sign bullshit, that's also another red flag, because you can't, that's like dependency on the signs is another red flag. It's not about the fucking signs. It's not about the zodiac, you know? I'm hearing Pirates of the Caribbean. It's more like a guideline. It's not like the rules, okay? People that live religiously by the freaking, I can't be your friend because you're Libra. I can't be your friend. I can't date the Leos. If you're on that, you're on a lower state of vibration. You still need healing because you're supposed to be open in energy. You were supposed to be always receiving all signs at all time. We move throughout all signs all time. Yes, there are the signs we were born in, but when you get to higher states of vibration of healing, you want to be able to embody all the signs, because moving fluidly through all the signs is also how you move fluidly through all the suits of the card. Okay, that's how you get into that flow state. So automatically, and also that's a good thing though too, if you are like, I can't be friends with Leos, or I can't hang out with people that are of a certain sign, that also is that helps you though to pinpoint though where your healings need to be addressed. Where, okay, so you got some issues there with a Taurus. All right, let's sit down, let's talk about that Taurus, let's talk about this issue and resolve it. That way you can now have peace with Tauruses. Just because you have conflict with people in your chart and your zodiac sign or whatever doesn't mean that is the end all be all. That is just a guideline, just to look out for that. You might not vibe with them, but that doesn't mean that you can't be friends with a Taurus or whatever, because that's the thing. Not everybody, we're all different. That one Taurus is not going to be the same as the next Taurus. Just like it's not going to be the same as the next Taurus. It's just like a name. Just because you met somebody else with the same name, Kathy, doesn't mean that all Kathys are the exact same. Anything else? Anything else that I need to know, that they need to know, that they need to be shared with, that needs to be told to them? I'm being told to just share pretty much, like I watch tarot. I watch that stuff. It's comforting. It's like a good form of, it's television. It's pretty much, tarot is kind of like astrological, like it's like it's TV for the supernatural. It's supernatural TV. There's different stations, and stuff like that. But it's all about finding a station that is, real. And stop being cross-watchers too. Don't cross-watch for people. That's also an invasion of privacy, and that's also karmic as hell. So also don't cross-watch. Anybody that's promoting that shit is karmic as fuck. Don't cross-watch people. Like, that's so weird. Only watch for yourself. That'll help you stay out of karmic energy issues too. That'll help you not be all like fucked up. Because also, don't watch a shit ton of tarot. Like, you gotta pace yourself with tarot too, because you can also, like, it's a big mind thing, guys, too. It's not a game too. Like, you can really dissociate yourself out of reality and really fuck your mind up. I've been there before, like, where I've like, oh, okay, I need to take a break. I've been on here for like too long and stuff like that. You can't. But the only way to learn the lessons is by, interacting and engaging. And that's the cool thing about being in life's playground, is that's what it is. It's about learning the lessons by living life. And this is the only place where you can do that. All right. So I wanted to thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you so much for watching part 2. I hope that you enjoyed, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.